awesome. Thank you so much for doing this.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So our podcast is about your journey in the music industry and how you got to where you are today.
Awesome.
And I know you have a lot of training as a ballerina as well, so we can talk about that.
I know. It's so funny. I thought I'd never talk about it, and then suddenly I talk about it all the time willingly, and I'm like, I need to unpack this.
Where are you originally from, Lexi?
I'm from Long Island, New York.
Long Island, New York. Tell me about that.
Yeah. I grew up in Patchogue. Long Island has its, like, they really do think that they're their own state. Very interesting place. I didn't know I had an accent until I went away to dance camp. I grew up next to Gateway Playhouse. I saw a bunch of shows there. I went to Belport High School. I didn't really do much when it comes to schooling because I was dancing professionally very young. So I spent my time at this place called Seiskaya Ballet. Long Island is awesome though. You're like in the shadow of the city, so I'm always going to see shows there growing up, and there's water and there's so much like inspiration, I guess. It's super, like, if you have movie brain like me, I talk about, it's like you like look out the window and watch, like, make a music video with the rain. Long Island's great for you.
Right on, right on. So you're in Long Island right now?
Yeah, I'm in Stony Brook at my girlfriend's house. That's where I was quarantined. There is a studio in the basement, and that's where I shot a lot of music videos and wrote a lot of music. So I was very fortunate.
Wow, yeah, that kind of worked out for you.
Oh, yeah, in like the best way possible.
Yeah. So how did you get into music?
My dad was a pianist, so when I was really little, I remember watching him play a lot. I think that I believe that the dancing may have been a confusion because my mom was playing Barbra Streisand Queen, and I was running around like performing it on the kitchen tables, and they're like, "Oh, she wants to dance," and I do. But I think that I was missing the music part. I played French horn in school, and I was afraid to sing a lot, just because, I don't know, I was very insecure about the singing. I hate acting, I hate talking, and not to you, but sometimes I would get really nervous when I was younger. So then I graduated with a degree in dance, and I was auditioning a bunch, and it's really difficult for someone that's, I have like a normal body. I don't have a very like lithe, tall, long body, so ballet kind of like cut me out. And I went to go see The Weeknd perform on my birthday, and I got like jealous. I was like, what the hell? Then I think that was when I was 22, and I was like, damn it. And I had a bunch of producer friends from Purchase, my college, and I just called one. I was like, I think I want to try singing like you guys told me I should. It was always a big love of mine. It just like, it didn't hit me until I felt jealous of someone on stage where I was like, I should do that.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got it. You said your dad was or is a piano player.
Yeah, he was a classical pianist. So my dad passed when I was little, but I also have a stepdad now who blasts Velvet Revolver. So I have a lot of people around me just like blasting music.
Oh,
but yeah, my dad
cool.
was a classical piano player. He was great.
Wow. Okay. And
I
then
know. I think that the ear comes from him because.
Right.
Yeah.
And then so you get into dancing, but you said you didn't have the body right for ballet.
Yeah, I didn't have the ballet body. Yeah, it's sorry, can I curse? I was gonna say it's bullcrap.
Yeah, no, you can curse. Yeah.
It's definitely.
But you did it for a lot of years, right? Like
I did.
You just like get to a certain point, and they're like, you. Like,
I consistently endured torture, and I can't say that I'm the only one. Like, I was probably 8 or 9 the first time an adult told me that I was like chunky. Whereas like now looking back on that, I'm definitely not. I look very small. It's very weird. But if you're young and impressionable, these things like are true. You're like, you know what? You're right. I'm huge. So that definitely didn't help when it came to wanting to do other things either, because I'm already so focused on dancing and trying to overcome what they're throwing at me. I went to college, and even grown-ass men were telling me what to do with my body. And then I was auditioning, and I was like, you know what? I'm out of school. I don't have teachers anymore. And it just still wasn't for me. It wasn't working out. Everyone has their own journey, and I know that the dance is for a reason. But, once I started hitting a giant wall, I quit, and then I was like, I'm going to be a punk rock pop star. And I got a lot of tattoos, which maybe in hindsight was definitely a large rebellion against the ballerina look, but Ironically, I ended up at a dance company again after all of that. So
Oh, wow.
Boo Boo the clown on me.
So, okay, did you go to school and everything for dance?
Yeah, I did. I went to a conservatory, so it was like you wake up 8 a.m., go to math class till 9, then you dance from 10 to 9, and then you have rehearsal, and then the next day you have an academic day, and the rest of the days are just dancing. And we weren't allowed to have a job. It was like I was full force gonna be Black Swan, but I wasn't.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
So were you doing like big productions and
We did
shows and everything?
We did the Nutcracker. Been performing for a large crowd since I was little, and I didn't really realize it till someone said that to me recently. Like even by Nutcracker in Long Island when I was young, I did it for about 11 years. There was always 500 people there, and that's fun. But
wow,
as a kid, yeah. So I feel like that and the criticism I faced kind of set me up to be fine in the music industry, because I feel like someone can tell me like, you look weird, and I'll be like, really? I've heard that before when I was 9. So good try.
Wow. Well, you said you played French horn also.
Yes.
Was that like your main instrument?
Yeah, that I played French horn I started in the 4th grade and I finished as a senior, and I loved it a lot. It's very difficult, but there was only like 1 or 2 other French horn players all the time. We were always close. I could have gone to college for that, and it would have been cheaper because I guess being a female French horn player, there was like scholarships around. And I chose the dancing, and I don't know if that was wrong or not, but I've met so many people that I make music with now because I went to college for dance that I think it was the right choice. I haven't played in a while, but that is, I think, so with French horn, I feel like I was playing a lot of counter melodies. And I think the way that I like to write is if a track is pre-made. So I love going into a producer, and if they have a beat, I love writing a melody to it. And I think that's because of the French horn and consistently doing something that was just slightly different from the melody. I also write on the piano, but my favorite way of writing is top lining.
Okay. So you have you can play French horn and you can play the piano as well?
Yeah. I'm not so great at piano, but I have the chords to write a song.
Sure.
Yeah, I can do it.
When was the first time you performed one of your songs to people? I know you're obviously dancing in front of people forever, but
forever, yeah. That was fun. And then singing was like, I wanted to like hide under a rock. That was terrifying. So it's so different for some reason. I think the first time was an open mic at this place called Velvet Lounge in like Setauket, Long Island. And I wrote some songs on guitar, and it's still like, just singer-songwriter style, and I was like finding my sound, but people resonated with them on the first night. And I wonder if there had been a lesser of a crowd that night that I would have been like, oh, no, I can't do this. But for some reason, the stars aligned, and there was like a couple people there that were like, this is really great. And I was like, oh my God, I've never sang. Like for real. I think I sang in a talent show in high school, but let's not count that.
So the first one was the open mic, and you said you received a good
I received good feedback. Yeah, it was nice. It was really personal songs at the time, and they were, like baby songwriter songs. So it was really nice that, people I'd never met before engaged with it. And I wonder if it was because of the energy behind it, because I don't know if any of them were good. But I feel like when you watch an artist, you can sometimes look past whatever's going on right now if you know what's there.
Yeah. And so what we had you seen that weekend show yet or no?
Yeah. That was probably a couple months, maybe 6 months after I was out there singing.
Okay. So you saw the show, then you're like, okay, I want to do this. And
I know.
Did you already have songs, or did you just start songs from there?
It sounds like such a press-made story, but I swear to God, I saw The Weeknd. And that night I had a producer friend from college who was always like, I hear you sing under your breath. You should just sing. And I was like, ow. And I called him and I was like, hey, if I don't do it now, I'm going to get too old and I'll never be a singer. So let's make songs. And he sent me a beat that night. And that was one of my first songs. It's not going to come out, but it was, the first things that I wrote to right after The Weeknd. Yeah.
And do you still work with the producer?
Yeah. My next single, which I believe by the time this airs, I don't know, will be out. It's called 85. It's coming out soon. But I wrote it with him. We still get along. We went through a lot together, too, with, potential signings and being a duo and,
Oh, really? Tell me about that.
So this was my first producer. His name's Matt Bracco. he goes by Syndrome. I'm not sure if he's going to change that producer name, but he was in the Conservatory at Purchase and for music, and they had some older music industry people teaching there that would let us use their studio, and they were really kind people. And we were writing songs, and they were like, you know, you guys could play songs with other people if you wanted to. And so then we started working towards doing that. And I do believe that that is the reason why it's taken me so long to focus on my own music, because I was like, oh, you know, I've waited this long, I might as well try and write for other people. But the thing is, I was just starting to write. So I probably had 1 or 2 really good songs right away. And then in between that, I'm still running through garbage, just trying to figure it out. So they were like, why aren't you churning out hits after hits after hits? And I was like, I don't know. And yeah, that actually caused, you know, some conflict between me and that initial producer, because we were trying to write things for a specific goal, as in a hit, placing it, money, that's it. And all of the magic of writing something fun was completely lost. And after that, we were like, you know, we didn't speak for a while because we started fighting. He's like, why are you sending me trash? I'm like, I don't know, maybe I don't want to write anymore. I focused on myself a little bit. He focused on himself, and we called each other, and we were like, wow, that was terrible. Like, we just, you know, witnessed a little bit of what goes on in this industry with like breaking people down, and got back up on it. And I said, I want to write weird 80s music. I don't want to write what everyone else is doing, which I guess is also what everyone else sometimes is doing. But, you know, whatever.
You never know.
You never know. Yeah.
So that's how you, and then, so from there, that's when you decided to write more of the, like the sound that you have currently.
Yeah. I've always been drawn to that, like synthy, 4 on the floor, I guess you could say, dance music. And I know that's because A, I was a dancer, and B, I think my mom listened to a lot of disco, and a lot of Billy Idol was being played. So my brain just soaked it in and wanted it all.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a brother too. I have a stepbrother, and he was in a band that was pretty funky, and I was always like begging to listen to his music, and he was like playing Depeche Mode in the cars. And I think I'm a nice little melting pot of what was happening around me.
That's cool. And did you ever see his band? Did you go out and see him play and stuff?
I went on tour with them. I was like,
oh wow,
my almost famous life. It was like little, like, you know, East Coast stuff, but it was my first introduction to it. And all those guys are awesome. Some of them like help me play now and help me write and stuff. And one of the Joyride artwork was done by someone in that initial band. They were called Maeve. They were fun.
Oh, cool. And did you you toured with them as what? Just like
I was just the sister.
Hand? Oh,
yeah. Merch girl.
Merch girl, rad.
Yeah.
So that was your first tour experience. Have you toured with your own music?
I haven't yet. I've played just in New York and in the city. I was not stuck, that's the worst word to use. I was residency at a show that was for about 3 years long in the city called Company XIV.
Okay.
And I ended up writing original music for them. And that for me was my touring, because it was every night to about 200 people, which was fun.
Oh my gosh. Tell me about that then. So this is a company, and then.
This is a dance company. I know, I'm like a hodgepodge. So basically, after that story at Velvet Lounge, I started feeling a lot more comfortable with playing guitar and singing. And this company is a mixture of dance, opera, original music, everything aerial. It's kind of like Cirque du Soleil, but it's in Brooklyn.
Oh, sure. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. It's called Company XIV. I had actually auditioned as a dancer and got cut maybe 2 or 3 times, but I remember I was like, you know what, maybe if I audition as a singer and then they find out I can dance after, that's like my little loophole. So I auditioned as a singer, and they were like, can you dance? And I was like, yeah, a little. And it was, you know, a good amount of dancing, because I had done the 10,000 hours at this point. So that was my in. And I had been there since 2019. The last show that I did with them was Alice in Wonderland, and I got to be Alice, and I wrote music for it, and I danced. So it was like a hodgepodge of my whole life together.
Oh my gosh, cool. What were the music pieces you were writing for them?
For Alice in Wonderland, I wrote this song called Blue. It's out now. It's been out for a little bit. That I wrote that on piano, and it was supposed to be, they said, write a song about when Alice gets stuck in the water and is sad. So that was fun, and there's so much visual stuff to work with there. We did another show called Seven Sins, and I wrote 7 different tracks for the devil to sing as I'd like to introduce each of the like little monologues, but sung. And they were like pop songs, like 30-second pop songs. It was really fun.
So they said, you know, they gave you the prompt for the show. They said, okay, we want you to write a song about Alice in the water or whatever.
Totally, yeah, that's pretty much it. And the director, Austin McCormick, I've never heard anything bad from him. I'm normally like waiting to hear like change everything, redo it all, and it's like great, rehearsals next week. I wrote a song for their Nutcracker called Red Velvet, and it's like a sexy song about cake with the entendre of red velvet, and that was the first thing that I did for them, and I was so nervous. And I think that experience of it going so well and being received so positively helped me really want to really go hard for myself when it comes to being an artist, just because slowly but surely things were being received nicely, and I was, you know, if someone can trust me to perform to their audience every night with something that I wrote, then I should trust myself.
Yeah, totally. Well, so the song Blue, you have that up on your Spotify. So you wrote that song for the performance.
Alice in Wonderland,
yeah, and then you recorded it and just put it out as a song? Yeah,
totally. It was awesome. There were some people that had seen the show that would ask every night, like, is this a real song? Where is it? And I promised it was going to come out. The show was called Queen of Hearts.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that's the same thing with Red Velvet. Was also put out. You also put that out.
Yeah. And there was the company directed a music video for that, which is so extravagant and incredible looking. And they were a huge push for me as an artist when it comes to pursuing being a recording artist.
Oh, really? They were they kind of like helped you like
the director, he loves pop music and is really good. Like people hire him to curate events and curate the music because a lot of his shows are based around like I hear this song and I see this scene. So we work together well because I feel the same way. And you know, giving me the opportunity to write original music for something, it's a huge platform. The show is always sold out. It was like a company I had known about for a while. It was a huge push in the right direction. And they were consistently letting me go fly out for the weekend and making it back for a show like right before the show so that I could record music and really being encouraging with that. And yeah.
That's amazing.
I know.
It's amazing that they're so supportive. Yeah.
I know. It was great. It was like a huge platform. I would perform with them any day. I was even talking about it. I would love to just like have the LEXXE tour one day where like we take the show on the road and there's music that I write.
Yeah, right.
I know.
So the video, I'm watching the video right now for Red Velvet. They helped fund that and they shot
that's
everything.
It's at the studio. Sorry, it's at the theater in Brooklyn. Those are all the dancers, all the crazy outfits. It's like Louis XIV at a gay rave.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow,
it was really fun.
So what's next for you? I know you just put out another new song, Joyride.
Yeah.
Do you have a record coming out that all these?
There's an EP coming out in October.
An EP. How many songs do you have?
There's 6 songs. I really wish I could call it an album, but it is not, I guess, by the song length.
Yeah.
But to me, it's my record. It's my first little baby. And it's really fun. It's all songs that I am proud of. And it, you know, they always say that you'll write like 6 songs and one of them is good. And that's true. And I always would get terrified that I'd write a good song and another one would never come. I'm sure a lot of people have said that. And I finally, like all of these songs next to each other, I love them all for different reasons. And I'm excited about them.
Very cool. Have you had a chance to perform any of them?
Only on Zoom. Yeah, only on Zoom? I did a Twitch show, which was awesome. I've never done that before with bands in town. That was fun.
Oh, cool. Tell me about that. Did you take over their channel or something, or was there?
Yeah, Bands in Town. Actually, someone who had seen me as Alice in Wonderland worked at Bands in Town, and they messaged me and said, "Hey, we're doing an artist spotlight. If I can get you in, would you like to do it?" And it was on the front page of Twitch, and there was 14,000 people watching.
Oh my gosh!
I know, and I really wasn't expecting that. I was like in my own basement singing, and then suddenly I see the numbers going up, and I was like, "Oh my god! Okay, sure."
Wow. Did you play just on acoustic guitar or
I
piano?
played with track.
Oh,
so
you did?
yeah, and it's been interesting because I've figured out a way. I have 2 computers with an interface, and Zoom recognizes the interface. And I have something going through that. I have a pedal board for my voice it's just like, it's been a lot making a live show here at home, but it's kind of awesome. Beforehand, I was not, my brother was in my band when I would play shows, and I had no idea tech-wise what was going on, and I am sure that was extremely irritating for him. And now I feel like I've already lined up my new set. I've figured it out in Ableton. I've learned, so I grew up in quarantine musician-wise when it comes to techie stuff.
Yeah, and because you're also quarantined in a studio, which is always nice.
I know, it's really nice. I'm very, very fortunate. I feel super blessed about that. I was able to write the last song on the EP that became the title track, and I was able to write that here alone with the same producer that I started out with, Syndrome. He sent me like a bare bones something. And I was like, I don't feel inspired, but I'll try. And I ended up writing this like Lost Boys theme song because I was watching the Lost Boys.
And that's and you wrote that during quarantine.
Yeah.
Wow.
In this very basement.
In this very basement. So awesome. So the record, the EP coming out in October.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much, Lexi, for talking with me today. I really appreciate your time.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I hope I didn't ramble about tutus too much.
No.
It's my MO.
I have one more question for you.
Yes.
I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Yes. Okay. So my advice is that if there's something in the back of your head and you feel like you're supposed to be doing it, then you are. And ignoring that is only going to consistently make you feel like you're in the wrong place, like always. So no matter what I was doing dance-wise, I always missed the idea of a song or music. And until I really went head first, I felt like my life didn't make sense yet. So you're here for a reason. And if you feel it in your brain, you're like, I kind of want to be a singer, but how do I do it? Where do I start? Just do it, and it will start happening.